And this afternoon, as we get to 5 o'clock, we've been watching the storms roll into downtown. This time lapse showing a fraction of the severe weather that we have seen today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tom Green.
And I'm Kim Christensen. There are some serious concerns about the wind with this weather pattern and the chance for damage to people's homes as a result with the fires. Weather Impact Team meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen is tracking the severe weather for us tonight. How are things looking right now, Corey?
Well, right here in Denver, we're looking calm because the main front has moved through our area, 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts, but we are still getting reports of 70 to 75 mile per hour wind gusts out just to the east and southeast of Denver. So not done in the state, but perhaps done here in Denver. Temperatures dropping down really nice and comfortable this evening after that wave of storms moved through. I want to show you a couple of things on radar here. One to look at is out here on the foothills that you see these rain showers just evaporating. That means the winds are going to come back here in Denver, but this time much more milder, 20 to 30 mile per hour gusts possible there. We do still have a severe thunderstorm warning out to our northeast and another one out to the southeast. These storms have produced 70 to 75 mile per hour winds, and you see those extending all the way down there. Some of the wind gusts here in the Denver metro area, basically between 45 at Denver International Airport and 58 miles per hour at Chatfield. So super impactful, but just 10 more miles per hour would have been perhaps a damaging situation. So at least we dodged a bullet. I'll have more information coming up and the full forecast.
A failed power line sparked a small brush fire near the Lockheed Martin campus this morning. That's off Wadsworth between Chatfield Reservoir and Roxborough Park. This one burned about 2 acres, was contained within a few hours. The largest fire, though, is burning in the state, and it's up in Larimer County, where the Pearl Fire has burned more than 100 acres.
Firefighters did report progress today, and some of the mandatory evacuations had flipped to voluntary evacuations, meaning some people were allowed to go back to their homes. But the wind today making things much more difficult. Ria Jha is in that wind. She's up near the fire line tonight with the latest. Ria?
Right, the wind is blowing so much I'm having a hard time actually keeping my hair out of my face, and officials said that this wind is their biggest concern in terms of the fire spreading. The direction the wind is blowing is also of concern. It's blowing in from the west and into the east where the homes are. So it hasn't impacted the fire just yet. They still have it contained, or not contained, sorry, 0% containment, but it's still at 128 acres. It hasn't grown since last night. The drop in temperatures has helped, but also more than 100 people on the ground throughout the day, helicopters and planes flying in, dropping water and fire retardant. Officials did change the mandatory evacuations for people living north of County Road 80C to the state line. Those are now voluntary evacuations. As far as we know, the other mandatory evacs are still in place in the Crystal Lake area. Fire officials say they're focused on protecting homes in that area.
Continue to work on structure protection, going through the neighborhoods around the fire, doing as much as we can to prepare those houses in case fire were to come into the area. And up on the fire, we have some heavy equipment starting to work around the fire. We have crews digging hand line, cutting trees, and then starting to chase down some of those spot fires.
Larimer County Sheriff's Office said the fire did originate on private property, and they do know the person that caused it, but did not give any more information on that. They are hoping to bring in more people over the next couple of days, and also hoping the moisture over the next couple of days hopes in compacting this fire. Reporting live in Larimer County, Ria Jha, 9 News.
Yeah, some moisture and a calm day. All right, thanks, Ria.
Out west, I-70 eastbound is still closed through Glenwood Canyon tonight, the result of a rollover crash early this morning. CDOT says it was a semi westbound that rolled over and landed in the eastbound lanes of I-70, spilling fuel on the highway as well. That meant I-70 had to be closed in both directions for most of the day while they cleaned it up. Now, westbound I-70 just reopened in the last few hours, and CDOT says there's no timetable at this point for the reopening of I-70 eastbound.
We now know the name of the woman killed in the hostage situation in Broomfield last week. Aisha Quest's family tells us they believe she was in a relationship with a man who is now under investigation for first-degree murder. Crime and Justice reporter Kelly Rinke looked through the court records and found some really clear and concerning warning signs. Kelly, he had a long history of domestic violence issues.
Kim, those domestic violence cases involving Gregory Miles date back to 2009. Multiple women filed protection orders against him over the years, and at least twice, Miles was ordered to not have a gun. September 12, 2024, officers are dispatched to a disturbance at an apartment. Broomfield police said they heard Gregory Miles yelling inside, and then he began to shoot at officers into other rooms and the parking lot. A 32-year-old woman inside the apartment with Miles, Aisha Quest, died. Her family told 9 News they believe she was in a relationship with Miles. He's now under investigation for first-degree murder. But before this arrest, court records show a trail of warning signs involving other women. More than a decade earlier, Miles pleaded guilty in Jefferson County for violating a protection order. At least 3 women, not including the victim in the shooting, had filed similar orders. In Adams County, a girlfriend didn't want Miles to have a gun. Court records say she refused to open her front door, and so he forced his way in by shoving his shoulder against the door. The drywall shattered and fell to the floor. Miles pleaded guilty to criminal mischief. The third woman filed a protection order in Denver after in 2019, Miles pleaded guilty to violating a protection order. Records accused him of having or trying to buy a gun or ammunition. That didn't stop him the next year when he pleaded guilty in Douglas County for assaulting that same woman. Fast forward to 2024, Miles is dating someone else and now under investigation for the most serious charge yet. There are no records to suggest Miles was under active protection orders at the time of the shooting in Broomfield. Police shot him multiple times during that incident, and he was taken to the hospital. Prosecutors have not formally charged him at this point. Other charges he has been found guilty of, though, in the past include being drunk with a gun, driving while impaired, and theft. Kim.
Well, that's disturbing. And when you hear the long list and all of them connected to a gun in many cases.
Yeah, and we're talking about at least 3 women who were concerned for their safety.
Right. Those are the ones that took the time to file the orders. All
absolutely.
Right. Thank you, Kelly.
Now to Boulder and the trial of the man who killed 10 people at the King's Supers there. They saw testimony today from family members and doctors, all of it focused on the shooter's mental health. The shooter's facing 10 counts of first-degree murder and dozens of other charges. He has pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. Today, the shooter's father and 2 siblings told the jury that the shooter's mental health had declined in the years before the attack. And a forensic psychiatrist who evaluated the shooter about 8 months after the attack concluded that he had schizophrenia. She also told the jury that he acted differently at different times that she met with him.
We always ask the question, do you feel as though you are a danger to yourself? Would you want to harm yourself or kill yourself? Whereas he had more definitively answered that question in the negative. The first time I saw him, he vacillated and seemed ambivalent and unsure the next time, which was concerning to me.
A testimony is scheduled to continue tomorrow. The defense could wrap up its case by the end of this week.